politics, tech, climate, truth in motion. You're watching 9 to 5 updates.
On January 3rd, 2026, the United States did something unprecedented in the modern era. It militarily invaded a country, captured the sitting president, and airlifted him to American prison, all before most of the world woke up. And the question everyone is asking, why did America attack Venezuela? And here's the thing, the answer Trump administration gave you is not the real reason. In this video, I will try to break down both narratives. First, what Trump administration wants you to believe, then what geopolitical experts and analysts actually think is driving this invasion. The truth, it's messier, more complicated, and honestly, more revealing about how geopolitical power actually works than simplified drug kingpin story that you hear on mainstream news. Here's what happened. Over 150 American aircraft from 20 different military bases simultaneously took off. The Delta Force helicopters breached Venezuelan President Maduro's compound in Caracas at 2 a.m. local time. In less than 5 minutes, they had him in custody. His wife was captured too. They were flown to a US Navy warship 100 miles offshore, then transferred to New York. Maduro is now in Brooklyn Metropolitan Detention Center facing four federal charges: narco-terrorism, cocaine trafficking, and weapons possession. So the official story is straightforward. American captured a drug kingpin, law enforcement, not invasion. But if that's really why America attacked, why did it take 150 aircraft and Delta Force? Why the massive military option? Let's start with what Trump's administration officially claims. According to Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Trump administration, this operation is straightforward. Maduro is a drug kingpin running a narco terrorist state, and America is bringing him to justice. Here are the four federal charges against Maduro. Charge 1: Narco terrorism conspiracy. Charge 2: Cocaine importation conspiracy. Charge 3 and 4: Weapons possession. Now, Trump himself has made extreme claims about the scale of drug operation. He said each boat of drug kills on an average 25,000 people in US. He labeled Maduro the number one drug kingpin in Latin America. The administration also claims something else entirely, that Maduro stole American oil. Trump said Venezuela stole from the United States and they stole our oil, and we are taking it back. This claims need some context. Back in 1975, Venezuela nationalized its entire oil industry, taking control of assets that has been developed by American companies like Chevron and Exxon. The United States government has never accepted the nationalization. Here's the interesting part. Are these charges actually real? Yes. Is Maduro genuinely involved in drug trafficking? The evidence suggests yes. Did Venezuela nationalize oil that America has developed? Also yes. So where does the official story break down? It breaks down when you look at the scale and priority. The US government has known about Maduro's drug connection for years. The charges are from 2020, 2023, and 2024, before January 2026. So why invade now? The US has captured drug lords before without invading entire countries. The US has tolerated worse human rights abuses in allied nations. The US has coexisted with countries supporting terrorism. So why Venezuela? Why now? Why deploy 150 aircraft from 20 bases? Why risk American lives? And why risk international condemnation? That's where real reason come in. Think about it logically. If the Trump administration only cared about drug trafficking, they could have increased DEA operation in Venezuela, imposed more target economic sanctions, worked with Colombian authorities on border security, used law enforcement like they did with other international drug lords. Instead, they invaded. They used 150 aircraft. They deployed Delta Force. They took military control of entire country. That's a massive military escalation signals something beyond law enforcement. It signals strategic interest. And that strategic interest isn't just about drugs. It's about something worth far more than any drug operation: oil, geopolitics, and power. Here's the first real reason America attacked Venezuela. Venezuela sits on world's largest proven crude oil reserves. We are talking 18% of all proven oil reserves globally. That's more than Saudi Arabia, more than Russia, more than United States. The exact estimate between 235 billion and 301 billion barrels of crude oil. At current market prices, that's worth over $1 trillion. Let that sink in. $1 trillion. Now, currently, Venezuela produces only 5,000 to 10,000 barrels per day. It's crippled by US sanctions and infrastructure decay. But analysts estimate potential production could reach 80,000 to 100,000 barrels per day with proper investment and equipment. Think about what that means geopolitically. America doesn't own Saudi Arabia's oil, doesn't own Russia's oil. But now, America directly controls the world's largest proven oil reserves. One analyst quoted in Time magazine put it bluntly: Trump now has his own petroleum empire in America. And that's the first reason. Here's something mainstream media barely mentions: China is Venezuela's largest oil buyer. When Venezuela had oil to export, China was buying it in massive quantities. Why? Because China needs energy security. Venezuela's heavy crude is perfect for Chinese refineries. But it goes beyond just oil. Russia has stationed military troops in Venezuela. They have strategic partnerships. Iran also has significant presence there. By removing Maduro, Trump eliminates Chinese, Russian, and Iranian influence from the Western Hemisphere, America's backyard. This is purely geopolitical dominance. It says the Americas are ours, not China's, not Russia's, not Iran's. This is about hemispheric control. It's about preventing rival powers from having influence in regions America considers its strategic zones. That's reason number two: geopolitical dominance over China, Russia, and Iran in the Western Hemisphere. Here's reason number three: the migration crisis. 8 million Venezuelans have fled their country in past decade. That's the largest mass migration crisis in the entire Western Hemisphere. They are heading to America. They are heading to Colombia. They are creating destabilization across the region. Trump's entire 2024 campaign was centered on stopping illegal immigration and controlling migration at the US border. Stopping the flow of migrants was his number one domestic policy message. So here's Trump's solution: remove the authoritarian dictator causing people to flee, stabilize Venezuela, stop the refugee flow at the source. Is it effective? Unclear. But it solves Trump's political problem: I am stopping migration. This is reason number three: addressing the 8 million person Venezuelan refugee crisis that Trump identified as a political priority. Here's reason number four, and it's a big one for American corporations. When Venezuela nationalized its oil industry in 1975, American companies like Chevron and Exxon lost billions in assets and future profits. Now, Reuters is reporting that US is pushing these oil majors to invest billions in Venezuela if they want to recover their previous debt and claims. In other words, invest your money, take control of production, and you can recoup your losses from 1975. Chevron alone is estimating it could recover multiple billions in lost assets and future production rights. This is wealth transfer at scale. American corporations gets their assets back or equivalent value. The Trump administration gets to point and say America wins, American businesses wins. This is reason number 4: corporate profit and multi-billion dollar asset recovery for Chevron, Exxon, and other US energy companies. Here's reason number 5: gold reserves. Venezuela has significant proven gold reserves, estimated around hundreds of tons. Maduro used these gold reserves to evade US sanctions. He would sell gold on black markets to get foreign currency and circumvent financial restrictions that America imposed. By taking control of the Venezuelan government, the United States now control those gold reserves directly. This is another financial control lever. It cuts off Venezuela's ability to generate hard currency outside the US financial system. It increases American dominance over Venezuela's economy. This is reason number 5, seizing Venezuela's gold reserves to eliminate sanctions evasions and increase financial control. So here's what's really happening with this operation. It's not just about Maduro being a drug lord, it's about 5 interconnected strategic interests. 1. Oil control. 2. Geopolitical dominance. 3. Migration management. 4. Corporate profit. 5. Financial control. Now here's intellectual honesty moment. The drug trafficking charges are real. Maduro is a narco trafficker based on documented evidence. But that's not the primary driver of this invasion. Both narratives are true, they are not mutually exclusive. Drug trafficking is a convenient justification. It's morally correct, yes. Taking down a drug lord is good, but it's not the reason America deployed 150 aircraft and Delta Force. The reason is 5 strategic interests I just outlined. Mainstream media focuses on the drug narrative because it's simpler to explain. Geopolitics and economic motivations are complex. They are not easy sound bites. But understanding those real reasons is essential if you want to understand how global power actually works. So, what comes next? Short term, Maduro's trial will proceed in Manhattan's federal court. Conviction on drug charges is highly likely given the evidence. Medium term, the US will establish a transitional government in Venezuela. This won't be a full military occupation, but it will be a government aligned with US interest. Long term, America and allied oil companies will invest billions in reviving Venezuelan oil production. Oil will flow back to global markets. Economic impact on global markets: if Venezuelan oil production even reaches 50% of its potential capacity, global crude oil prices could drop by $10 to $15 per barrel. That matters because high oil prices affects gas prices at the pump, airline tickets, shipping cost, and essentially everything. Lower oil from Venezuela equal to lower prices for global consumers. For India, India's state oil company ONGC has approximately $1 billion in stuck dues from Venezuelan oil fields due to sanctions. A new US aligned government might honor these debts or allow oil production to resume, potentially unlocking that $1 billion for India. For geopolitics, this is the clearest signal yet that Trump intends to exercise raw military power to reshape the Americas according to the US interest. Expect similar moves in the coming years. So, to answer the original question, why did America really attack Venezuela? The official answer from Trump: Maduro is a drug kingpin. The real answer, based on geopolitical analysis: Maduro is a drug kingpin plus American wanted to control the world's largest oil reserves, eliminate Chinese influence from Americas, solve the migration crisis, help American oil companies recover billion in assets, and reassert complete dominance in the Western Hemisphere. Both things are true. They are not mutually exclusive. The drug charges are real, the geopolitical motivations are also real. I present both so you can make informed decision about what's happening in the world and understand how global power actually works. If this deep dive analysis helped, please subscribe for more geopolitical reporting that goes beyond mainstream headlines and explain the real reason behind the global events. Thanks for watching.